This is The Minimum Commitment, film theory in small doses, where sci-fi isn't just spectacle, it's history, rewritten in a galaxy far, far away. I'm Don Lawler, film scholar, noise sculptor, and someone who can't watch The Phantom Menace without hearing echoes of the real world. Let's get into it. The Phantom Menace was never just about pod racing and prophecy. Beneath the Jedi flips and droid battles is a story about power, and how power hides behind bureaucracy. It's a film about colonization, about how the center manipulates the margins, and how entire planets can be subjugated as long as the paperwork is clean. The film opens not with war, but with a blockade, a trade disagreement. That's how it always begins, not with armies, but with systems designed to look fair. The Republic, we're told, is a force for peace. But look closer. The Republic enforces systems that benefit the powerful. It responds to conflict only when politically convenient. And its defenders, the Jedi, act more like state agents than spiritual guides. They're sent to negotiate, but they arrive like shadows. Silent, hooded, weapons just out of sight. It's not peace they're offering, it's presence. A quiet threat dressed as calm. This isn't diplomacy, it's performance. Power staged as restraint. Postcolonial theory asks us to look at how cultures are represented. In The Phantom Menace, we meet Gungans and Neimoidians, two alien species that speak in heavily caricatured dialects and serve as stand-ins for racial others. The Gungans are coded as primitive, a little chaotic, and even childlike. The Neimoidians, by contrast, are secretive and economic. They run trade routes. They hide behind legal speak. Neither group gets character depth. They're shorthand for how the Republic sees them, as pawns and obstacles. It's uncomfortable, and that's the point. The film reflects how empire always needs another, to control, to ignore, or to blame. And sometimes when the mask slips, you see how powerless the powerful really are. Let's stop at one key scene. Queen Amidala's plea to the Senate. Naboo is under attack. Her people are suffering, and yet the Senate stonewalls. They send her to committees, and they ask for evidence. She begs for help, and they give her a bureaucratic brush-off. So what does she do? She calls for a vote of no confidence, a political nuclear bomb, and it works. But it also plays right into the Chancellor's hands. Because that's how power works here, not through war, but through manipulation of structure. Colonialism doesn't arrive with blasters. It enters through chambers and charters and treaties. It wraps itself in law. It speaks the language of order and diplomacy while tightening its grip. Even the Jedi fall into the trap. They believe in balance, but enforce the status quo. They sense a darkness, but they look in the wrong places. They worry about a child's future, Anakin, but they never question the system shaping him, the rules he's expected to follow, the power he's being trained to protect. And maybe that's the tragedy. Not that the empire replaces the republic, but it grows from it. Quietly, inevitably, already rooted in the very structure meant to prevent it. The Phantom Menace isn't a perfect film, but it's a fascinating one. It shows how empire wears the mask of order, how racialized bodies become symbols, coded and contained, and how colonial logic doesn't disappear. It just moves indoors, into the language of senators and systems. That's your thought for the day. Minimum commitment, maximum meaning. See you next time. The Minimum Commitment is produced, recorded, and edited by Don Lawler. Music by Art Against Agony.